nobody wanted anybody to know what you were saying or what you were doing, right? You didn't want your neighbor knowing what you were doing and what you were saying, but now we go on and we tell everybody what we had for breakfast, where we're going on vacation.
Well,
It's
not
changed a lot. It's changed.
There you go.
A lot of people have changed in that respect.
We had a local telephone company, and it was a party line, and all your neighbors could listen in when you were talking to somebody else. Sad to say, we had a lady that talked and talked on the party line, and when you wanted to use the phone, you had to tell her to please excuse me, I need to use the telephone. Dickie Rural came along, and to begin with, they had an overhead line, and then their telephone service was very good. And then when they finally went with this, so that you can have internet and your computer and everything, it's absolutely wonderful. We also have television with them. We just can't complain. And when our telephone doesn't work quite right, I call in, somebody's there within a half an hour and they fix it.
You know, with the digital and the internet services, it was really advantageous for me because I was able to work from home. I was connected to our St. Paul office or our Mandan office, so it really made it nice for me to have high-speed internet out on the farm where a lot of people didn't have that.
The interesting thing is our great-granddaughter-in-law, she is absolutely amazed by the landline. When she came to our house the first time, she just, she didn't even know what that is on the wall. And then she had her husband call the landline so she could answer the landline. And whenever she calls us, I'm calling you on the landline. So that's kind of funny, I think. But we've had excellent service with Dickie Rural anytime we have any problems, and it's been wonderful.
Well, my ties to Dickie Rural go back to day one. My dad was out of the Litchville area, and Litchville this summer is celebrating their 125th anniversary. And back in 1900, my great-grandfather, in the middle of the night, he dragged his post office and his little business to where the railroad was coming in because he thought it'd be way better business, and he named Litchville. He was the first postmaster, first businessman, and then got very involved in developing the Litchville Telephone Company. And then in 1952, Dickie Rural bought out the Litchville Telephone Company. So this is a really cool picture of my grandfather in 1922 working, this was the Litchville Telephone Company now at that time. And then in 1952, Dickie Rural bought it out. And then my dad went to work for Dickie Rural in 1952 and worked for like 26 years. I know when the guys come, when he'd go to fix a phone, he'd get lunch or dinner or cookies or something. And they would just call and say, I need a new cord or my phone don't work, and he would just go and fix it. He loved Dickie Rural, never ever complained about working.
Whether it was Dickie Rural or the RECs, those guys knew which places to stop when it was lunchtime.
They did.
They always showed up at lunchtime because they knew which spots they would get a good lunch.
With a cooperative and Dickie Rural, you're basically working with local people. If you have a problem, you can pick up the phone and call them, and you're talking to local people, and they're at your service, and they work for you.
It gives you more power because as a co-op you have everybody working together to give you the ability to do more things because you have more people.
Why would you want to get your internet service from somebody other than Dickie Rural Network? As you put money into Dickie Rural, as Dickie Rural makes money, they end up giving money. I mean, it's like that's a huge deal, and it's pretty amazing.
Well, their employees are involved in their communities. I mean, whether it's Edgeley or Ellendale, they're just really involved within the community other than their work.
Dickie Rural presented me a check for $1,000 to help with our 125th in Litchville this coming summer. that's the kind of company Dickey Rural Network is.
Contribute to the schools, to the
Yes,
charitable
yes.
organizations in the community. And that's important if you want to keep people involved in small towns and small communities.
My grandpa asked me one time, he said, I would like to know what you're going to see in your lifetime. I've seen oxen-driven carts to men landing on the moon. What are you going to see? Men landing on the moon to what? And I think if I would have said, I'm going to see the day when I have a phone and I can take your picture and I can just press a button and I can send it to California, and he would have thought I was crazy. I think Dickey Rural had a vision. They were looking ahead, how they could improve this company. They had a vision.